glass exploded across my driveway, and the guy swinging the baton yelled like he owned the block. And in that split second, I went from peaceful Sunday to what in the world, real Wick. He wore a bargain uniform that said Neighborhood Response Unit plastic badge that said Emergency Compliance, and the swagger of someone who depends on you being confused. "Sir, you're violating emergency safety codes." "Step away from the vehicle," he barked. And I swear, my first thought wasn't anger, it was pure disbelief, because who neutralizes a family sedan for compliance? You know what I mean. I hit record, because that's who I am now, the quiet guy who finally learned that video beats volume. "Show me your real badge and your real ID," I said, keeping my voice steady while the windshield dripped diamonds onto the concrete. He flashed a laminated card with a fuzzy seal, and when he fumbled, a brown wallet hit the ground and popped open like it wanted to help me. Regency Compliance Services, LLC quota sheets addresses in our subdivision with dollar amounts in the margins. Not a great look. Curtains twitched, neighbors peered, and all that old heat in my chest. A lifetime of being talked over, settled into something colder and clearer. Then Lila Hart from 2 houses down walked out with a mug and a binder, like court was now in session. Gray cardigan, calm eyes, retired litigator who reads ordinances for fun. "Has anyone seen official city credentials?" she asked the street. Not him, like a teacher taking attendance. Silence hung there until the cruiser rolled up, lights blue, not blaring. Sergeant Dana Kelly stepping out with that no-drama posture that makes loud people go quiet. She examined his badge in the sun. Radio dispatch came back with a voice that could cut fabric. "There is no neighborhood response unit authorized in Brookside County. There is no emergency compliance code that permits destruction of property, sir. You're under arrest for impersonation and criminal mischief." And the baton clattered like it finally realized it was plastic. Neighbors exhaled, the air loosened, and while Kelly photographed the wallet and the quota sheets, she handed me her card and said, almost kind, "Mr. Quinn, expect a call." This looks bigger than Sunday drama. Bigger pulled up that afternoon in a black SUV that reflected our mailboxes like mirrors. 3 suits stepped out. The leader, Cynthia Voss, set a portable speaker in the street like she was hosting a seminar and announced emergency community briefing regarding today's non-compliance. Her smile was all corporate. Her words were all pressure. And as she talked, one of her guys moved house to house, sticking laminated QR notices on garage doors with the efficiency of a meter maid. I scanned mine. Civic Compliance Registry. My address already had photo citations, threats disguised as recommendations. Jim across the street asked who authorized this. Cynthia pivoted. "Cooperating residents will receive assessments. Those unable to meet standards may consider relocation to communities better suited to their financial realities." And I caught it on video because soft bigotry loves a microphone. Lila slid close and whispered, "That's extortion, and you got it on record." That night, my dining table turned into a command center. Coffee on drip printer, grinding tabs everywhere. And the registry site that looked legit at first glance unraveled fast. The domain had been registered 16 months earlier to Horizon Neighborhood Solutions, which connected to a web of shell groups with the same 2 or 3 officers on repeat. I mapped neighborhoods, dates, fake violations, and the cycle was too neat to be random. Around midnight, a sedan parked where it could see my office window. My printer froze mid-page like it got nervous, and at 2:11 a.m., an unknown number texted, "Stop now, or the broken glass won't be the last cut." Yeah, that happened. I screenshotted it, saved it twice, and called Lila at 7. She got me a number for Henry Lowell, a retired inspector whose signature kept popping up on files my neighbors were waving. We met at Millie's Diner, the kind of place where the coffee is strong and the eggs have stories. Henry looked tired, in a way that lives behind your eyes. Slid me a folder and said, "That's my original work." They scanned my seal during an intake interview years back and have been forging me ever since. I didn't sign those new reports, not one. Before I could respond, the bell over the door dinged, and the baton guy, Brent Malloy out on bond, slid into our booth with a smile that tried to sound friendly and landed as a threat. "Let's be adults," he murmured. Mr. Lowell wouldn't want folks asking about the corners he cut. My phone was recording in my pocket. Henry went pale, and right then, Lila arrived like a closing argument with legs. "Mr. Malloy, you're out on bond, and that's witness intimidation. Take one more step, and I will decorate your bail hearing with this recording." He left in a hurry that wasn't quite a run. When I got home, my garage door wore fresh spray paint. "Safety violator," fake citation number underneath the meter box, showed tool marks. The alarm housing had bright scratches. My camera caught Brent casing the place with a buddy, and for the first time I understood the whole play. Make us afraid. Make us feel alone. Then, sell us an exit. I decided to turn the fear inside out. Wednesday night I went live from my garage. Harsh floodlights workbench as desk vandalized door in the frame, and said, "Hey, I'm Noah from Brookside County. Here's what fake authority looks like." A couple hundred viewers turned into thousands, the chat filled with copycat stories, laminated notices, QR codes, the same script about values, and I held up the quota sheets, the forged seal, the website pages, like they were postcards from the same vacation. 20 minutes in a comment popped with a blue check. "Agent Lauren Park, Federal Bureau of Investigation," and I swear I read it 3 times before my brain allowed me to breathe. "We've been tracking a multi-state contractor network impersonating municipal authority. She wrote your footage. Fills critical gaps. Please continue streaming. Local PD and federal teams are moving." For once in my life, being the boring guy with the files felt like a superpower. Right then, because villains love a stage, Cynthia Voss walked straight into my shot with a lapel mic and a script. Misinformation is spreading. She began smoother than butter. "We help communities maintain standards." I kept my voice level. "Why does your site cite repealed ordinances? Why are you using a forged inspector's signature? Why are you threatening utilities you don't control?" And she tried to pivot again. "Some residents are not aligned with long-term stability. We advise relocation consulting." You could feel the crowd behind the camera. Harden, you could feel the chat spark. And when I said, "So you harass families until they move," she answered. With a sentence prosecutors dream about. "We encourage appropriate housing decisions." And the sirens rounded the corner like punctuation. Sergeant Kelly read charges. Attempted extortion conspiracy to commit wire fraud impersonation of authority. And the suits who were posting QR codes forgot how to walk casual. My stream did not stop. Viewers watched warrants execute across 2 counties, watched boxes of documents roll out of offices with polite names and rotten centers. The federal courthouse in Riverbend was fluorescent and cold and weirdly ordinary. The gallery filled with parents and retirees and people who looked like the word exhausted. The U.S. attorney laid it out. Mail fraud, wire fraud, racketeering. 7 states, hundreds of victims, more than one. 8 million skimmed off fear, and I remember thinking how simple the trick was. It wasn't genius. It was confidence, plus paperwork, like a magic show with clipboards. Cynthia took 7 years and forfeiture. Brent got 4 and restitution. The satellites landed between 3 and 6, and the judge said something I still hear when the house is quiet. This court recognizes the harm of organized intimidation dressed as community care. And if that doesn't make you sit a little taller, I don't know what will. 6 months later. North Ridge feels like a neighborhood again. Lila agreed to chair a real council that worries about crosswalk paint and tree roots instead of policing porch colors. Henry consults when we actually need eyes on a real hazard. The county posted a banner the size of a sofa on its site, spelling out who can step onto your property and when. Our street has a new habit. Clipboards get a hello, names get written down, credentials get verified. Polite, calm brum. The restitution paid for my windshield and a stack of pizzas, sure. But the real win was hearing a car door slam last week while I washed the new glass and realizing I didn't flinch. I looked up, waved. The guy waved back. Nothing. Hidden. Nothing implied. After the video went viral, my inbox flooded with stories. Some like ours, some quieter. And the part that sticks with me is how many folks still said, if you'd just complied, none of this would have happened. Maybe you've heard that line too. Here's what I know now. Compliance is a two-way street. If you claim authority, you show your work. If you wield power, you answer questions. And if someone shows up on your driveway with a badge you can buy online, and a voice that wants you small, you film, you ask for names, you ask for statutes, you ask twice. I'm not special. I'm just the guy who finally decided the quiet wasn't helping. So tell me this in the comments. Where's the line between keeping a neighborhood nice and policing it into sameness? And who gets to draw that line in the first place? Have you seen values used as a velvet glove for pushing people out? And did anyone call it what it was? Drop your story or your take. Argue with me if you think I'm off. And if this helped you spot a scam, share it with someone who needs it. Like, subscribe, hit that thanks button. If you want me to keep shining light where the clipboards don't want it, stay sharp, stay steady, and when a stranger says the word compliance on your driveway, ask for their name, their statute, and a moment to turn on your camera. It changes everything.